Hello, I'm Ed Walters, Chief Operating Officer and Head of Wealth Management for LFN. I'm thrilled to be joined by Jayson, Lincoln Financial Group's Chief Investment Officer and Head of Risk and Sustainability. Today we'll be learning a little bit more about Jayson, his team, and how we can all work stronger together in 2023. Jayson, I've gotten to know you a little over the last few years, and I'm not sure how well our financial professionals know you. You know, I come from a pretty large family. I'm the oldest of 8. And it's my understanding you have a pretty large family yourself. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, first of all, wow, 8 kids, that's a ton. I can't even imagine. But yeah, well, first of all, thanks for having me today. This is fantastic. So yeah, about myself, so I'm a Midwesterner at heart. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, but I spent most of my career in Chicago and in Manhattan. And then we moved to Philadelphia when my wife was offered a tenured position as an economics professor at Swarthmore College. So people always assume that we have some riveting conversations about finance and economics, but the reality is we have 5 kids. So not 8 kids, but 5 kids. I can't even imagine, but ranging in ages from 5 to 17. So we both spend the majority of our non-work time just trying to keep our heads above water with the kids' school and sports and activities and college visits. From a work perspective, I joined Lincoln in 2013. I was actually Ellen Cooper's first hire. I was working for JP Morgan in New York City at the time, and I was structuring private debt and private equity investments primarily for insurance company general accounts. And Ellen offered me the opportunity to apply that knowledge directly within Lincoln's portfolio. So over the past 10 years, I've been involved in the development of our unique multi-manager investment complex. I got to lead our general account fixed income team, our alternatives portfolio. I also led and restructured the funds and some of the indices that support our variable annuity and variable life products. And last year, Ellen asked me to step in and oversee our risk functions as well. As you know, we needed to make some difficult but important decisions in the reserving of certain life products to ensure that we were in a much better place for the future. So I've worn a number of hats, and now I look after the roughly $300 billion of investments across the general account and the separate account, as well as then about a $100 billion hedging program, which is just a really incredible program. And most recently, I was asked to oversee our Chief Sustainability Office, which is having an increasing amount of engagement across the enterprise, and it's something I'm really excited about.
Wow, that's great, Jayson. You see, you've done a lot of different things and really have expanded your responsibilities over the last few years. Now that we know a little bit more about you, can you tell us something about your team?
Sure.
What do you all do?
Yeah, sure. So amazing team, first of all. Shout out to all of them. And as I mentioned, I wear a few different hats. So I'll focus in on the investment side. And there are really 3 main areas of business that fall under the investments umbrella for me. So there's the general account team, which manages Lincoln's $136 billion investment portfolio. Then you have the separate account team, which manages and oversees that $220 billion in assets. And then the third is our client investment strategies team, which provides distribution support and content creation that's used across the enterprise. So perhaps first, let's talk about the general account. We've built a large internal team of portfolio managers and analysts, asset class specialists who drive the strategic asset allocation for the entire general account portfolio. And then we tailor those allocations to meet the portfolio needs of each of the different business lines. So those business lines are essentially, they're like our customers, the same way that you might think about an individual investor's risk tolerance and objectives. We devise investment strategies that meet the objectives of each of our unique products. And then we do so while being mindful of the aggregate general account portfolio and then driving incremental value for Lincoln as an enterprise. One important thing at Lincoln, we aren't managing that portfolio on our own. We've built one of the most sophisticated networks of asset management partners who help us to source investment opportunities and then execute on our strategies. In fact, when I joined in 2013, we had really one core manager and then a couple of more niche managers, and we were building. And as we sit here today, we have 23 external asset management partners that work with us on the general account. In addition, we also have an internal team that originates and manages commercial mortgage loans for our balance sheet as well. And then on the separate account side, we have a team of capital market strategists and multi-asset portfolio managers, manager research analysts who source and oversee the asset managers that sub-advise our mutual funds and manage money on behalf of Lincoln's variable products. And then finally, the client investment strategies, the third group there. Around 5 years ago, we challenged ourselves to find ways to leverage the value of our unique multi-manager platform to support our distribution partners and the financial professionals in a more meaningful way. And that's when we hired Amber Williams and we built out what's called Client Investment Strategies. And they've created a full suite of content that delivers unbiased market intelligence and investment perspectives on a timely and consistent basis. And so while the general account team and the separate account team and the financial professionals that you work with have their own fiduciary mandates, I know there are some great opportunities for synergies in terms of investment thought leadership. And through our client investment strategies team, we're better able to leverage that full power of more than $300 billion in assets to deliver perspective and content and value to all of our client-facing partners.
Now, Jayson, you mentioned a general account, and I've learned a lot about that over the last year from your team. Can you give us some high-level overview of that?
Yeah, sure. So the general account is a diverse mix of primarily fixed income securities with a smaller allocation to mortgage loans and alternatives. And the duration of the portfolio is specifically tailored to match the duration of the liabilities. This is called asset liability management, and it's absolutely critical to meeting our investment objectives. From an ALM perspective, we've seen some high-profile examples in the regional banking sector this year that have really evidenced the importance of good asset liability management. Now, just to be clear on that, bank liabilities or short-term deposits are significantly different than insurance company liabilities, which are longer dated, and they're associated with much richer features and more stable value propositions that aren't susceptible to the same types of withdrawal risks as bank deposits. But nonetheless, everything we do is evaluated through an ALM lens. In terms of then the asset composition, the portfolio is extremely well diversified and positioned for stability regardless of the economic environment. That being said, we know credit cycles and losses are inevitable, and we've been preparing for the downside. Since 2016, we've actually de-risked the portfolio by more than $6 billion of securities that we felt had the potential for more credit deterioration. And again, we manage our exposures by aligning the risk in the asset portfolio to the risk in the liabilities. That asset liability management, that first line of defense against macro events like rising interest rates or equity volatility is really important. And then we also regularly conduct extreme stress testing on the portfolio. And we want to make sure that we're equipped to withstand normal volatility like we're seeing today, as well as even more extreme shocks like we saw during the global financial crisis or the pandemic. And then we leverage that multi-manager model to put the power of those brightest minds in the investment industry to work helping us to execute on our investment objectives. We put nearly $20 billion of new money to work every year in good quality deals with attractive yields. So regardless of what's going on in the markets, we have a robust investment platform and an incredible general account team, and we're ready to navigate through any market environment.
Well, that's really comforting, Jayson, and thank you for explaining that to me. So let's dig a little deeper into the multi-manager platform. This is kind of a secret sauce here at Lincoln, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It's certainly unique. It's unique relative to our peers, and I think it brings a lot of benefits to Lincoln. We've built one of the most robust platforms of asset management partners in the insurance industry. And over the past decade, we've elevated our internal investment talent as well. We've increased that roster of asset management partners, like I mentioned. We work with JP Morgan and BlackRock, KKR, Macquarie, Blackstone, Ares, Goldman Sachs. I mean, the list goes on. Really, really great partner firms for us. And one of the major benefits of this model is access. Through these partnerships, we're able to source investments in all types of asset classes. So we can go beyond public corporate bonds to drive incremental returns and increase the portfolio diversification through private equity and private credit and structured credit securities. And then importantly, given our scale and our negotiating position, we can really improve the downside protection and mitigate volatility through these types of securities as well. For example, we're able to build financial covenants and other risk mitigating features into these types of securities, which I think is going to be important during a softening economy. So yeah, through that multi-manager platform, I think we have the expert knowledge and the technical know-how to invest confidently in any area of the market we choose. With all these relationships, I would argue that we have more access than anyone in the industry. We also benefit from hearing the diverse perspectives of our partners on macroeconomics, geopolitics, and financial markets. And those views help us confirm or challenge the base case scenarios that inform our longer term strategic asset allocation. So I think our multi-manager approach also helps to inform product development. In fact, a few years ago, we launched the Lincoln ETF core model portfolios, which are actually exclusively available to LFN advisors and their clients, of course. And these are low-cost models. They're built using an optimal mix of ETFs from multiple managers, including BlackRock and Vanguard, SSGA, and Schwab. So it's a powerful model, and I think the bottom line is that our multi-manager investing model is smart, it's efficient, and it's been tremendously successful for us since its inception over a decade ago.
That's great, Jayson. I just have one final question for you. One of our themes this year is Stronger Together. We've carried that forward into the whole year. How can you and your team partner with LFN so that we are stronger together?
Yeah, it's a great question. And over the past 12 months, I've already seen the strength of the partnership between our teams grow exponentially. So thank you for that. As I think about the partnership and how we can deepen it further, the first thing that comes to mind is content. I know that LFN is already working closely with the Client Investment Strategies team in the preparation and distribution of a lot of valuable market-focused content. And the good news is I hear it's really resonating with our financial professionals in a big way, so that's fantastic. I think the insights from that market intel exchange are valuable. They come from our Chief Investment Office, of course, but they also come from that network of asset management partners. So again, leveraging the value of our multi-manager platform, leveraging the power of the insights and the feedback and the partnership that we get with LFN already. So I just encourage everyone to check that out if they haven't already. And then as we look ahead, I think we have an opportunity in 2023 to consider how we may want to expand the suite of content. We're already producing good stuff, but as needs come up and advisors have ideas, things that they want to see, to feed that back in and help us help you in terms of producing more content. And what you may be less familiar with, I suppose, is that the Client Investment Strategies team is also out telling our general account story, highlighting the strength of our partnerships, answering tough questions, and sharing the message around the strength and stability of Lincoln. I anticipate that work really on all these fronts, whether it be funds or markets or general account, will continue throughout 2023 as we see a growing need for content and articulating a point of view on the capital markets and having that view that's informed by our asset management partners on a thoughtful and timely basis. So my ask, if I can make one of you and of our financial professionals across LFN, is just to continue to work with our teams, work together, connect with Amber and her team to make sure that we're getting the advisors in the network everything that we can to help them grow and maintain their businesses. And none of this work would come together without the close partnership with you and with LFD and marketing and communications and really all of our partners across LFN. I think this is the perfect example of being stronger together.
Jayson, thank you so much for your time today and for all that you and your team do on behalf of our financial professionals.
Oh, thank you, Ed. I hope everybody enjoyed today's virtual session. And just remember, we're here. If you have any follow-up questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.
Through partnership and collaboration, this demonstrates the depth of support, resources, and expertise we're able to deliver to our advisors as one Lincoln to drive the network effect.